Hey guys, welcome to Gooseberry Gaming. Today I'm making a video for my time at Portia, tips and tricks after the final release of the game. I made a video before, but that was early access game. Some tips will repeat, some won't, some of them are new. Also, there will be spoilers, so I'm just warning you, if you do not want absolutely any spoilers, you probably shouldn't be watching them, but I will try to keep spoilers to minimum. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. I'll be talking about leveling up, money, social skills, and other. Also, I want to let you know some of these tips are for beginners and some of them are for later on in the game. So let's get started. The first thing I'll be talking about is leveling up. One of the items I found very useful, especially in the middle of the game when I was already doing a lot of tasks and I kept running out of my stamina, is massage chair. It replenishes your stamina quite quickly and nicely, and it's not too expensive, so you can afford it quite early in the game. Even though farming is not the most important in this game, something I would really recommend doing as soon as you can is growing crystal trees and apple trees. Crystals, you will need them later on. You get power stones out of them, you get sapphires out of them, and for apples, you can dry them and they give you a great stamina boost when you need one. If you need to level up faster, if you want to grow your character faster, you need to ditch the drill and the electro saw, because when you go back to your old fashioned pickaxe, you will gain experience much faster that way and you will level up much faster. So my next tip is for a little bit later in the game, when you are able to go to the deepest ruins and you're out of stamina. What I do, and I need to go drill and I need to go chop wood, I just use the vending machine by eating traditional soup, and it completely reboots my stamina, my HP, and I can easily go back, do a lot more work this way without even going fighting the monsters. I just exit the ruins and I have the full bars without a hassle. This tip is for earlier in the game, especially when you're like level 2 or 3 and you need to fight the monsters. It's a lot more convenient to kill them while they're sleeping without any issues than when they would be awake and attacking you. One more tip that is kind of basic knowledge, but you really want to use all of your stamina throughout the day. That will help you level up much faster, especially in the beginning, so it would be easier for you to level up and you would do it much faster. My next tip, make sure you have enough of different machines in your factory for the things you need. If you like to make a lot of fabric stuff, make sure you have more than one fabric machine. I usually like to have at least 3 of a kind or 4, just to keep up with the demand, and that way you will get your stuff much faster. My next tips are going to be social. So first thing first, not a lot of people know this, and thank you to one of my subscribers for actually letting me know. So when you go to your bed and you hold down for settings, you can assign spots. So you can have your kids sleeping with you, you can have your other kids sleeping with you, or you can have nobody sleeping with you. And if you want your husband or wife wake up next to you, you do need to assign a spot to them. That way they will wake up with you, but not all the time. When it comes to your pets, you need to make sure your loyalty is 100% if you have a perfect horse. What you need to do to get a perfect horse, you need to add their food in there, not to forget to feed them, but also you do need to interact with them every day to get that loyalty up. So don't forget to pet your horse or llama to get the loyalty. Becoming a parent is hard enough, but also when your kid wants a toy and you need lots of badges for it, it's kind of disappointing to play games all day long just to get one little toy for them. But even though it's expensive, you do can buy the toy without any badges, just with the coins, and it's the 3 they usually request. But if you want to give them something like their milk bottle, you will have to work for those badges. Birthdays are great in the game just because when you have your birthday, your friends and buddies come over and give you a gift. So what I would recommend is when you just start the game, you get to pick your birthday, and a lot of people pick it like right away, but what I would recommend doing it at least a month or 2 after you start the game, so you can build up some relationships, so you can get some gifts on your birthday and maybe sell them and get some profit after that. When you're trying to build up a relationship, easier to give gifts on big events like Day of the Bright Sun or their birthdays. You get double the points usually, and that way you can build up the relationship much faster if you don't forget anybody on holidays and their birthdays. Also, in the beginning of the game, you want to pay attention to Mr. Gale, especially in the beginning when you have to buy land and upgrade your house. You get quite a bit of discount when you start upgrading your land if you're buddies with them. 10% in the beginning of the game is actually quite a bit of money, so you want to look out for Mr. Gale and be friends with him as soon as possible. So next tips I will be talking about is money. My first tip is that Gus actually accepts a lot of stuff we sell, and he has quite a bit of a big limit for you to sell the stuff to him. So if you sold all of your stuff to Mark already, and you want to sell some more, and you're like, I want the money today, hopefully you can come over to Gus and he will help you out with that wonderfully, and you will get more money per day that way. Also, when you're selling stuff, you want to make sure what's the market price. So if the market is up, that is the day you want to actually sell stuff. If it's down, I would hold up a day or 2 before selling it. I would at least sell it for 100% or more. I would never sell it anything lower than 99%, because you're losing money. You're losing your material that you put into making that item. So always pay attention to the market price. Fishing is one of the best ways to make money in this game, especially in the beginning. I would really recommend this spot for beginners before you unlock the lift, before you can go get more expensive fish. But this is where I usually start out making money. Fishing is the way to go to make fast money with good profits, especially if you collect your own lure. So when you do fish, you can breed your fish as well. So what I would recommend is saving some fish, put it in a tank, make sure you feed it, and that way it'll make money for itself and you can sell it easily, and that way it will bring you even more money than fishing without fishing. Another wonderful way to make money are your llamas. When you capture them but you actually train them, you can sell them for quite a good profit, especially the cotton llama. It's pretty easy money if you buy everything you need for them, but the more they're trained, the more you can sell them for. So I would recommend training them before you're selling them. And to sell them is just simply you select the llama, you press yes, and you have the money. My next tip is the Church of Light. You can easily buy irrigation flooring, the irrigation tower from here for discs, even the large planters, and sell them off for gold. But you need to make sure that you already are way later in the game, though. You have enough data disk for everything else you need before you're starting doing this, but it's actually still a good money maker. Besides fishing, completing the tasks and everything else, these items for me were the most profitable in the beginning of the game. Later in the game, I really enjoyed selling in stuff like aluminum plate, copper coil, stone table, stone stool, lead bars, the brick and topaz, especially making some necklaces out of them, is a wonderful, wonderful profit. I would highly recommend selling these items when you start out, but also make sure you don't need them for any earlier tasks or any coming up tasks. So some of my other tips are, first one is, if you're very annoyed with the item, for me it's delicate fur. I hate collecting delicate fur. I just give the task to Silk Corpse. It makes my life so much easier, even though I do have to pay a little bit for it, but I rather do an extra commission than collect this. I would highly recommend, and if you need something like this, you can also ask them to go diving for you and you just get the stuff later, which I think is super prompt, especially when you have a little bit of money in the game and you can actually benefit from not collecting stuff. My next tip is, when you're in the ruins and you found the spot you really like, you have the material you like here, but you're out of stamina or you need to go refuel, always put a mark here. You will put a mark, and that way you will know where to drill or where to go next time, and you will still keep your spot even though you have to leave. For each ruin is a different mark, so you can have all the marks you want in different ruins, but it is only one mark per one ruin, so don't get me wrong on that one. So my next tip is skills. In the beginning, we really want to invest in different skills. The skills I would recommend only investing in social is business mind in the beginning. This you can add later on, but what I would really invest to is the gathering skills. This is what you want. You want the fishing, you will know what kind of fish you can get. Then you want the farm girl, of course, and I mean, these are the best tasks. I would not get the livestock because livestock is not that important in this game, unfortunately. But if you enjoy mounting training, I would definitely invest in some of these. And I really like both of these, and you can invest in both of them at the same time, which is very neat. The next skill points I would add is the fighting. I would probably, like I said, with social, the only one I would invest to is the business mind, but that's it. I would not go further than this until I actually need to. I would focus on leveling up my fighting and gathering skills instead of social. So that's my personal take on it. Take it or leave it. If you want to go on social skills, that is your choice. But if we look in the end on how much profit it brings you in general, it's better to invite in gathering than fighting, and only then in social. My next little tip is the manage map. We overlook this quite quickly. We can see where our friends at. We can see where the monsters at. Especially, it's pretty neat, but you do need to be more closer to the monsters for them to show up, but not your friends. Your friends are easily visible, where they're at, what they're doing, and when you're looking for somebody, it's actually quite neat to have those little icons everywhere. So there they go, and they're not there. So this is my little tip for the map. My next tip is, do not forget about your Relic Piece Exchange. A lot of people overlook it, but it's super comfortable even to pay money for a little piece that you actually do need, or switching out to a double you have. I would highly recommend donating all the species of fish as early as you can in the game, just because that way you can get a wonderful master fishing rod that will make your fishing so much easier, and you can make money easier that way. So it's a win-win for you. My next tip is, when you're waiting on something like material wise, you're out of stamina, you're bored, you really do not want to wait around. What you do is you come to sewage plants or any kind of this type of plans. You go in, you see the 4 hours it consumes, you enter it. You do not have to fight anybody to get rid of those 4 hours, which I love. saved me a lot of waiting. So what I do is I turn around, I exit the ruins, and it is 4 hours later, which is great. My material finished what I needed, or like anything like that. So it's really awesome. I love it. It's the easiest way to skip time. And like I mentioned before, right now I can see where all the monsters are at on my map. And when I open up this map, I can tell that these buddies are in this area. So my next tip is mostly for newcomers, but I would definitely do it. You want to put a bunch of stuff in your house, even though it doesn't look nice, even though you do not like how it looks, but it gives you extra points you need. So it gives me max plus 10 health, which is wonderful, which I actually need right now, especially in the beginning. Also, you can open up your home panel. You'll see what kind of furniture you have, what exactly it gives you. Then when you do get a helper, you can have them stop adding food, stop adding fuel, and right here it'll show you everything that your helper did that day. And also, my last tip is, if you need to reset your skill, you just come to Phyllis and have her do that for you. I'll just do it to show you guys. It is not pleasant, but you do get your tree skills reset completely for you. So right here, it's at 0 again, especially if in the beginning you were not sure where to put your skills, and now you know what you want. Anyways, you guys, this is it from tips and tricks from me with the full game edition. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if it helped you. Let me know if there's any other tips. I will pin them down below for the other people to see. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you will join me on my Time of Portia gameplay later on, and I hope you have a fantastic day.